Hello, good morning, everyone who all are joining in and who may join later in the session. This is your host, Himanshi Kaushik, and I hope that you all are doing fine, safe, sound, and happy at wherever you're taking this session from. So today we have joined to witness a special session that is intersecting paths, exploring career prospects in sociology and history. And when I talk about history, there's this one quote from Winston Churchill that I remember. The farther backward you can look, the farther forward you're likely to see. And I completely agree to that. If you also abide by the same, you have come to the right place. And for all this discussion, we have our experts here, and I shall introduce you to our expert. We have Dr. Manu Sharma, who is a professor and present head of Department of History, School of Humanities, lovely professional university here with us. She has done her PhD in history from B.R. Ambedkar University, and her core area of specialization involves gender issues, women's studies, cross-cultural studies, Hinduism, yoga, Ayurveda. She is deeply involved in teaching and research for more than 2 decades now. She's having more than 30 research publications in book, proceedings, and journals. She has presented more than a dozen research papers in different national seminars and conferences, and is credited with an experience of 6 PhD students, successful completion of their PhD, their dissertation, and more than 10 field projects for final year undergraduate students. At present, she's also having 9 PhD students under her learned supervision. And Dr. Sharma is significantly involved in administrative works as academic operation coordinator, distance education classes of different domains, and many others. She's extremely inclined to the international and national collaboration in academics, museum setup, promotion of cultural heritage, and organizing different workshops, webinars, and other professional and academic work in her domain regularly as part of her professional work. Ma'am, it is a pleasure for us to be here, to be able to listen you and the other experts, of course, and gain knowledge from your experience. And with this, I welcome you in the webinar.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I request you to please take over the screen, ma'am, and over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Today we are present here to discuss about what are the emerging trends and the career opportunities in the domains of social sciences. Specifically in the domains, if we'll say it is history or it is sociology. History and sociology are the most sought after domains because they are so closely entwined with each other, or we can say they are the sister concerns to each other. So to show more light on the emerging trends or the exploring career opportunities in the domains of history and sociology, I have with my fellow friends and
Okay, I think there's some internet issue from MEMS end. No issues. I will be introducing our experts here. So we are also joined by Supreet ma'am. She is a born academician with a passion of sharing knowledge, and she has her everyday experience of taking sociological theories and testing them on ground. She has been living her passion for 3 years now, and for post-graduating, after post-graduating in sociology from Department of Sociology, Kurukshetra University with gold medal. She has cleared her NET and JRF, and her doctoral thesis was about yoga medical discourse, discursive practice and formation of yoga medical discourse community, a study of knowledge power perspective. Currently, she's teaching as an assistant professor with lovely professional university, and her area of interests are sociological theories, sociology of gender, medical sociology, and sociology of religion. She's supervising the PhD with international backgrounds now, and she's also been associated with NGOs which are working with the street kids, adolescent girls, and boys. Ma'am, it is very impressive, of course, and it is a pleasure again to be able to listen to you. And we are also joined by Kavish sir here. And I think there's an issue from MEMS, and so I will be starting the session here. So this one question that is very basic question is, ma'am, what is basically sociology? And Hisham, what is the difference between these two? So Preet ma'am, first you, and then I'll request Kavish sir to please take on this question.
First of all, when we talk about sociology, it is actually the study, scientific study of the society. And when we adding here the scientific, it means we are dealing with some scientific facts and values. After that, the study of society, that is called as sociology. Within sociology, if we are talking right now about the relationships, this is a scientific study of society, it means we are talking about the social relationships because society is made up of relationships. These relationships actually the consequence of the interaction among the people. Right now, we people are interacting with one another. In this way, we are forming the social relationships. But yes, we are, we are interacting directly. We can see the face, we can talk, communicate. So direct communication is there. So that's why we are forming a relationship in the education, academics. Education is actually that institution of society which is built on the direct relationship. In the same way, family is here, marriage relationship is here, kinship is here. They all are based upon the direct relationship. And another side, there is the indirect relationship. Especially in the modern complex societies, we are dealing with the indirect relationship. For example, political institutions. I'm going to give the vote in the elections. I'm not directly, it's not face-to-face interaction with my representative, but still, yes, there is indirect interaction. Yes, we both are dependent upon one another. So it is forming the indirect relationship. So just think about the scope of sociology where we are dealing with all such kind of processes, institutions, all the interactions among the people, minimum two and maximum no number, globalization, modernization, so many processes are here. So it means whatever is coming under each, subject, that can be the subject matter of sociology. This is actually the scope of sociology. Yeah.
Sir, Kavish sir, your take on it, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Supreet ma'am. And there was the internet disturbance, that's why I got disconnected. Yes, Dr. Kavish, we are eager to listen to you, your views on history. So how do you think history is going to help our students?
Morning to all of you, those who are present at the histories of the universities too, and wherever my voice is reaching. The topic is, I had present, the topic on which we are discussing.
Kavish sir, your voice is a bit not clear. Can you please come close to this? Yes, yes.
So presently what we are discussing the career opportunities in the contemporary values for the students, for the learners, right? And in the age of globalization, we have to look into that what kind of opportunities are available for this subject. Traditionally, when you ask to the student, they will say that we are studying this subject because we want to learn our past. And to some extent, they will also say that they will follow the path of already the beaten path, what you may say. For example, when you are talking about the traditionalism or the traditional approaches to this. For example, if you are taking your career in school and colleges, you are going to study. Thereafter, the civil services, the 2 or 3 options in my age also, when we were preparing for, then only 2 or 3 options in history was available or were available. Now, in the age of contemporary period, what we are studying, what we are getting, that like many other subjects, history has also widened its scope. And presently, we are studying history to look into every area of society or the contemporary period. For example,
Kavish sir, your voice is not clear. Can you please be louder? Yes.
Okay.
Ji.
So, madam, I was saying that history no longer is a subject where we have to see that already the beaten path what we are discussing about. So, in today's world, a number of opportunities are available. One recent example which I am telling to you from history, that apart from different newer branches of the study, There are many other branches of study also which has emerged in recent time. And in our age, you were not even able to imagine that kind of situation. You were not even able to imagine that these are the opportunities which are available. Now I am putting one very important, quotation from what you call T.H. Carr, the man who was responsible for writing a number of books on history, and from there we are taking the methodologies of history, where he has said that it is a dialogue between past and present. So when you are talking about, from this sentence itself, you can explain 2 or 3 days, you can speak on this. When you are talking about that it is a dialogue between past and present, and it's a continuous dialogue, it means that you are incorporating the present times also. For example, now I am coming to the new vistas, what it is available in the age of globalization and in the age of what we call the contemporary period, where a number of opportunities are available. Now, should I speak? Should I continue on?
Yes, sir. Yes, about what are the career options. As you are saying, it is a dialogue between past and present. So how the past events or how history is relevant today, and what are the emerging trends so that our students can get benefited from them, and they can choose the right career options after completion of their program. So what are the way outs which they can search, which they can go for after their completion of the degrees?
Well, actually, when we are reading, as Romila Thapar has quoted and A.L. Marsham also quoted, that earlier the history was only the history of the kings, the courts, the rope charmers, etc. Nowadays, it has been widened. So what the students are looking forward, that new opportunities which could pay also in terms of not only understanding the society, but in terms of the material gain I am also talking about. Although the corporeal things are more are less of importance rather than what I am talking about. So now I'm coming to the new opportunities in history. I'm talking about now one important aspect, which every country at present is concerned about, every society, every individual at present is concerned about maintaining or what you call the revival of or keeping its heritage secure. And this security concern of its heritage, because many things, even family, I want to preserve the cultural values of my family. I want to preserve my cultural values, what my forefathers were having. Similarly, you and similarly, all those participants. Similarly, a state, a society, a nation, a community, all these are having. So when you are talking about these type of help, so you can join as heritage manager, you can join as a heritage conservationist, you can join as many important posts. I'm talking about a recent trend, what it has appeared in some time, is that, for example, it can also be very important in bringing the cordial relation between the two countries. For example, suppose if India and Pakistan at present is at loggerhead and they are not willing to come to deal with each other, then you can take the help of history because many heritage sites are in Pakistan. For example, the Buddhist site, for example, the Indus Valley civilization site, and for example, in India, there are many sites. So in order to understand the society, it means that a common evolution of culture. So you can think about in this way that it can also make your what you call diplomacy very important, as well as what you call it can bring the two countries and the community and the people close to each other. So it is one of the important things. And by this way, you can also, bridge the gap between the two nations. Similarly, when you are talking about China, I have seen that recently Chinese delegation was moving. So every country, what I'm saying, is now concerned about. Now, second important thing, which we used to see in many films, for example, I'm talking about that what films are having opportunities. Many people, those who are not having the pure academics, pure history, what you are talking about, the objective information of history. Many people are looking forward to art history, that what is the dynamics of arts which has appeared into recent times, painting, music, etc. Similarly, the history is also having every cinema house, every cinema producer, every cinema director is having that kind of people, those who can be helpful to them with regard to what you call in the setting of what you call cinemas. For example, if you are, I'm giving one example, that suppose if you are making some films on what you call the Mughal period, or you are making some period of the Rajput period, and if you are not taking the help of what you call the historians or the history experts, or the art experts, those who are, then definitely the mapping cannot be established. I mean, what it was the dressing, what was the costume, what kind of people, what kind of body language they were speaking in those times. Definitely, all these will not be. I mean, pure cinema people cannot do all that. Therefore, in cinema industry, in television, in journalism, all these, there are many channels at the world over. For example, you can talk about the geographical channel, for example, the Fox channel, for example, the history channel. Every country, over 5,000 channels are there, and they are appointing lakhs of people there. At least you can say that in fortnight, they are appointing a myriad number of people. In this way, you can think of that these are not the beaten path, what I'm saying. These are the newer path, where you can have your enrolled and you can develop your prospect as another important thing. Military history is a newer branch, although it has begun after 1815 when Napoleon was defeated at the Waterloo. Thereafter, you can say that the military history has also developed, how the people were fighting. So in recent period, every military organization of every country is having its own military. They are very much eager to maintain or preserve the heritages with regard to their military past. So in terms of that, if you don't have a history background, then definitely you cannot. In newer way, you can say also a number of things have appeared. Presently, I'm talking about that.
So Tabish sir, you can say that the corporate sector and government sector both have different opportunities for the students of history as well as sociology also, or only the history people can have this specific number of opportunities?
No, madam, actually my intention is to say that history cannot be seen in isolation. Okay, history can be seen only, and the vital scope of history can appear only when you are talking about the amalgamation of or intermixing of different subjects. Therefore, the government is also inclined as present interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary. So when you are talking about history, then definitely in history, what we are studying? In history, we are studying the society, we are studying the culture, and that is a part of social society. So many historians, sociologists, for example, L.P. Vidyarthi, I'm talking about, Arindam Das, I'm talking about, there are many people, those whose name can be cited here. They have a background of history, but once they started writing sociology and social aspect, they became a sociologist also. So in this way, you cannot say that these are, especially when you're talking about geography, geography is also part of history.
So you can say from policymakers to ambassadors to tourist guides to genealogists and curator, we have wider scope in the domain of history.
Obviously, ma'am, I am talking about that presently, if you will see that most of I can cite you the example of many world-class diplomats, world-class leaders, those who are having the history background, sociology background, political science, and they cannot be a proper mature politician until unless they are understanding the society, until unless they are knowing the history of their past, or because if you are knowing the past, you cannot repeat the same mistake, or you cannot do all that kind of thing which has been done and which have brought the downfall. So information of all these subjects are very important.
Yes, sir, as it is also said that history makes a person wise. The people, those who read history, they are wiser than others. It is also written in the history. So yes, definitely, the different prospects and the areas which you have discussed are definitely going to help our students to choose their career in those different things.
And an important thing which I would like to add, I'm just since I remained the civil services as my right. Yes. Apart from academics was my last choice. Therefore, I first opted for civil services. So in every exam, right from the smaller level when you will start, when you're talking about the soldier, when you're talking about the sepoys, when you're talking about the constable, right from the SP or the IPS or the UPSC examination. Yes. One example I'm citing you that whatever paper you are going to opt, 40 to 45% questions are coming from history.
Yes. So I totally agree with this, sir, because whatever the competitive exams we appear, whether it is a bank PO, armed forces, civil services, you will find the questions, maximum questions are coming from history. Yes, yes, yes.
So sports history is a new branch where you can make your little, okay. So genealogists, because here you have to take the help of anthropologists, okay. You have to create a genealogy calendar. So in all these ways, you need history and history background is very important, and these are the new opportunities for the student. Unfortunately, in our time, we were not doing all these kind of things, and neither these were the things which had appeared by that time. So, presently, whatever the opportunities available in India, I would say that nowadays, some new opportunities, some opportunities which you can say Western opportunities are also appearing in India. But in West, a different kind of perspective has been developed with regard to history. Means history has not been seen in what we are saying at present history. History has been seen as a part of anthropology. History has been seen as a part of. I was surprised to listen one thing that recently a chemical engineer of IIT Kharagpur has done a work with regard to what the Harappans were eating. And on the basis of the utensils study, meticulous study of they found that they were both vegetarian and non-vegetarian.
Yes, sir. So history has its wider scope with some interdisciplinary domains also, sir. And the world leaders, obviously, they also come from the history background. And it's not only that the ministerial level or administrative level positions, we have the opportunity to go through the higher studies and teaching and research. They are the conventional domain. It means we have two diverse things. One is conventional, second is non-conventional. Conventional opportunities, they come from higher studies. Conventional opportunities come from teaching or research. But when we have to see about the non-conventional, then we have corporate and government sector with us, where we can choose from different kind of career prospects which are here. As a researcher, you can go for the principal investigator, research associates, data analysts are the domains which we can work on, and higher studies are always open for the researchers. जी, आपका इसके बारे में क्या ख्याल है सर?
No, you are right. You are absolutely right. That, as I have said, that there are two ways in which you can pursue your career in history. One is the traditional, and one is the non-traditional. There are, many economical factors are responsible for continuing what you call the traditional or written path. Economic factor I'm talking, especially in our country. But where the economic hindrance is not coming, people are going forward and entering into different disciplines.
Yes.
Because that is opening new vistas, and that is also responsible for, enlarging the scope of what you call history. So that is an important part which I'm discussing.
बिल्कुल सही कहा. जैसे आपने, you have given the example of the chemical engineering, or there are people of urban planning, architecture. They can also collaborate. And nowadays, as we are working on artificial intelligence, so artificial intelligence is also going to help and create some new arenas for.
Yes, madam, artificial intelligence is the way in which we think, right? So that is a newer aspect of what you call of science. And when it is incorporated with what you call other discipline, definitely it will be responsible for enlarging the scope, what you call enriching this subject, enriching the discipline, and further, it will also create what you call the skill. Skill is very important, and these skills, as I have mentioned in the very beginning, that these skills are transferable from one generation to another. And by this way, you are not only responsible for enriching the society or your state or your country, but also you are responsible for building a healthy culture in which you are taking the help of what you call the scientific achievements, scientific theories, and artificial intelligence is one of them. So in present, I'm talking about, just I have given the example of one researcher. He has taken the help of all these things. So these are the newer branches of the study, and many problems what I'm discussing over now, that with regard to history, when you are studying history, you can understand. For example, in recent times, only 2 days or 3 days, we have seen that a number of areas of India flooded with water, and hue and cry is prevailing everywhere. Now, if you will understand, suppose a student is understanding, if he has read Indus Valley Civilization, he came to know that what was the reason or the cause of what you call the expansion, emergence, and even decline of that civilization. So flood water was one of the reasons. Rafiq Mughal, Pakistan archaeologist, has rightly said, Shiri Nagar of India, has rightly said that these were the reasons. And if you are understanding all that, so if you are understanding, it means your inputs can be used for the flood management also, right? For agricultural development also.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir.
Kavish sir, please carry on.
To that I was saying, madam's question was, I was responding to the question. Okay, so the question was that history also is a subject where you are understanding the past, and on the basis of your continuing your present. And one thing very important which I would like to discuss here, that golden days, the concept of the golden days. Golden days never lied in your past, or what you call it will come in your future. It lies in your present. So if you are having some good inputs for your present, definitely it can be, fruitful, and it can be useful. So the newer generation, what at present is with us, must know, and it is our duty. It is a larger responsibility of the academicians, of the teachers like me and madam and others, those who are here, that we must tell the student that history is not only a subject where you have to study the wars and the battles, the kings or the monarchs. Here you have to study about the social, the society at large. You know that many, and from where the concept of subaltern studies has come. Subaltern studies has come also from that. That for a longer period.
Ramesh sir, that is a domain for the researcher. This, if I say as a fresher student, I am the student of history, how my students will be benefited from the entrepreneurship opportunities. What are your views about that?
Please repeat your question.
How entrepreneurship is going to add in the domain of history as far as career opportunities are concerned, sir?
Well, see, entrepreneurship means what? Entrepreneurship means that you are not
entrepreneurship. My idea is about entrepreneurship.
Well, I am explaining. When I have mentioned this one, I was of the opinion that you, after learning history, after reading history, after doing a career in history or getting a certificate or degree in this subject, you can be an entrepreneur. Okay, and you can start something. You can contribute in the nation in making. You can contribute. For example, if you have studied history, you can start a project. You can start an NGO. You can start something which can be in demand because you're understanding the need of the society. And without understanding, you can also write something very important with regard to, the social sites on the social platform. You can write something which can be so. In this way, I would say that entrepreneurship means what I'm saying too, that after reading the subject, you can be self-dependent, you can contribute in the society in making, rather than yourself is being dependent on what you call the society or the already be the path. So my intention was that. Entrepreneurship was, I was trying to explain entrepreneurship in that very context.
Okay. Thank you, Stabish sir. So the idea about the domain of history lies here, that there are two ways. The one is conventional and the one is the non-conventional domains in history as far as career opportunities are concerned. Here we discuss the corporate and the government sector. In corporate sector, the student can opt as a project manager, social impact analysis, PROs, social scientist. They can go as an art critic or a film critic. And when we talk about the government sector, there are the opportunities for the students of history domain as a civil servants, armed forces, bank POs, secretaries, and archaeologists and archivists. As far as higher studies,
one thing I would like to
add,
and this will be very live for the student or those who are listening.
Sir.
I remained a student of history from the very beginning. I was having an interest in history. Okay, and I was having an intention that I will complete the civil services. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I would not add rather. I have not been able to complete the final viva of the UPSC. Twice I appeared for that. But the history has benefited what I am at present because of my subject. Second important thing, I got the job in World Bank. So again, I was the monitoring and evaluation expert. Still the site is mentioning my name. So that is because of my subject. I was in Pioneer because of my subject. I was in Times of India because of my,
yes.
In many ways, I was editor. So many people are getting the aid because here you are not going to remember the things.
Absolutely, sir. That is why in the beginning I introduced you a lab. You have versatile experience in versatile field. Why? Just because of the domain of history, you have that knowledge, you have that experience that you can explore yourself in the different domains. And as far as conventional areas are concerned in history, one can opt as the career opportunity in the field of higher studies. They can go for the doctorates and the postdoctorates. As far as teaching and research is concerned, always this is a conventional domain which is open for the history aspirant. And last is the entrepreneurship. When we see that entrepreneurship opportunities are there for the history students. For example, they can go as the content writer, the content development, or the heritage manager, or the critics. So, or a freelancing can also be done by them if they are working on that. Fine. So this is the thing. And now I'll go with the domain of the sociology. There are different career prospects in the domain in sociology also. Sociologists are also in much demand nowadays, not only in India, but also abroad. So I'll introduce and I'll like to invite Dr. Supreet, who's the assistant professor in the Department of History, to please enlighten our viewers that what are those different ways or opportunities where our students can explore after completion of the degree. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. First of all, if we want to know about the scope of any subject, you should know firstly about what exactly that means. Meaning of sociology, as I have told you already, when it is related to this scientific study, definitely I will start it with Auguste Comte, who has coined this term, sociology. Definitely, slowly and slowly, I will come to this scope also, but please try to understand the meaning. Meaning is related to the scientific study of society. Father is Auguste Comte, and firstly, he has given the term social physics for sociology, right? Why social physics? Because he was visualizing sociology as a science, because this is a scientific study. But the thing is that when we deal with the individuals, their relationships, it means there should be and there will be some subjectivity also. For that subjectivity, to remove that subjectivity so that we can do pure research within sociology, Max Weber was there, very, very popular, very famous sociologist. He said that sociology is actually the interpretative understanding of social action. For example, right now I'm smiling, right? You are listening to me. Interpretative understanding means I should understand you at the level of yours, in what way you are thinking about me. This is called as the empathetic level. And Max Weber call it as the Wurstian method also, right? So if I'm using here the methods, it means I'm trying to make sociology as more scientific, right? So in this way, it is very different from the casual approach of the people. Okay, sociology is basically related to family, marriage, and kinship. Because right now, because I have talked with so many people, so many students. Okay, ma'am, earlier we were thinking that sociology is this only. No, it has a wide scope, and within that, within modernity, you will find it. You will find even after COVID, you know, the scope of sociology has been changed. Now, for example, within sociology, if you see here in this slide, medical sociology is written here. It's sociology of science and technology, sociology of gender, criminal justice, and correctional measures. So it means right now, if you see the medical sociology, so the question arises here is that why we are using sociology with the medical?
Okay, so Supreet ma'am, after completion of the degree, for example, I have taken admission in MS Sociology. So
Yes.
what are the career options for me if I have to choose?
Yes, sure, ma'am. Because right now we are into medical sociology also. Because when you are into MA, definitely you will read some different courses also. It's not sociology is divided into different courses. Even on the basis of that course's scope is different. Just see, it's not about the holistic sociology I am talking about. It is basically the branches, the main courses, and different scope related to them. For example, if it is the medical sociology, within sociology it is a course, then it is related to medical is actually related to when it is curative. We are dealing with the curative things, we are dealing with the preventive things, right? So it means why we are using medical in case of sociology, society. If you remember during the COVID-19, you see that now we people are using some allopathic also treatments. Apart from that, glow, very Ayurvedic things, we are putting it into the messages at that time. We have put it all the community level, at the community level, all were following the same trends, more or less. It means something social was happening at that time. It was not the individual thing. So community medicine is encompassing actually the alternative medicine also. So we have a lot of scope in Ayush. If you have heard about that, it is the Ayush system in Indian society. It is created by the government of India, Ayurveda, yoga, and naturopathy. And it is all related to Unani, and it is Siddha and homeopathy. So that combination, you will find number of jobs when you will done your masters with the special preference of medical sociology. You will find it that yes, only one course I am talking about, not the program. Even though you will find number of jobs in Ayush, community services.
Yes, yes. I have also seen number of recruitment opportunities are opened by the government as well as private sector, where they are asking the sociologist, or specifically they ask the MA sociology people in these kind of youth and welfare or the women and child welfare ministries and development. So they have certain opportunities.
Definitely, ma'am. Even though right now I'm talking about the research. When you are into the research, more specialization, then there are different number of opportunities. But right now, I'm only talking about the post-graduation. And even Indian Council for Medical Research, there you will find some social scientists, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3 jobs. All is, you will find it on internet right now also. So number of scope even related to one course of sociology I'm explaining right now. Yes. Apart from medical sociology, it is very contemporary in nature as well. Sociology of science and technology. We all right now, we know that in IITs also, in Indian institutes, technological institutes, sociology is, they are making sociology compulsory. Basically deals with what? It is the scientific science, right? Within that, science and technology, when we are dealing with the social impact of that, it is, for example, with the automation. I'm just giving the example. There is a kind of side.
Yeah. Please, ma'am, continue.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Earlier I was thinking that it has gone actually.
No.
So, when it is sociology of science and technology, it means we are dealing with the impact of technology on society. For example, with the impact of automation, with the influence of automation. For example, washing machines are here right now. Just see the impact on gender because of the washing machine. Impact on the gender status as well. So technology, in what way it has an impact on the society, it is done by, that is the subject matter of the sociology of science and technology. So you will find different positions even in forest research institutes. One of my colleagues, Dr. Ashwati, she is doing postdoctorate in sociology from ISRO. And her topic is related to in what way the NASA that is forming a different kind of, where the animal is right now, so that they will put it into the,
Okay, so it means, Supreet ma'am, after doing a master's in sociology, we have research opportunities to work with ISRO and NASA also. So it was really, it was really a new thing for me. I was not aware of it. That's so wonderful opportunity if the student have this.
That's why we are here, because that's why I have done this study with the observation.
Yes,
also.
And I'm sure the world does not know much about it. That MS sociology people can also have the research opportunities to work with ISRO and NASA.
Usually students.
Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for sharing this.
Most welcome, ma'am. Even in the wildlife research centers also, you will find it like sociologists were there. In what way they are working there? Okay, technology, they are put on any wild animals, suppose elephants, they are destroying the crops of the people. So the science tech is that they are putting some sirens on the neck, in the neck of the wild animals. And in what way it has an impact on the crops and the people's life then? Just see. That's why sociology is everywhere.
Yeah, sociology, it's wonderful to hear from you. I was thinking I should go for MA sociology once. Because if this is having this opportunities, like if I can have the opportunity to work under ISRO as a researcher or a NASA, or I can work in the forest and wildlife. So there are wonderful and a very non-conventional approach towards the MA Sociology.
Yes, yes, very globalized also, ma'am. And in the same way, sociology of gender is here. When it is gender, we have heard about the LGBTs right now. Number of my own student, scholar, she has done work on LGBTs and all. So it means if we are doing research on them, it means we are we have the opportunity to enter into their stream also, to do the research also. Social counselors, why we have the social counselors, it's not basically the psychology. It is basically the social, understanding of people's nature, because it is not the individual behavior. I'm a lesbian, it is not the individual behavior, it is the social. It has a social nature. So when I understand that LGBTs and social, definitely it is the matter of the sociology of gender, it means I can be social counselor. And there are a number of counselors you will find in case of gender also. Scheduled caste development officer, scheduled tribe, why? It is basically related to the cumulative discrimination. I'm SC, scheduled caste, and I'm women also. I have cumulative discrimination from both sides. So that's why here sociologists work for their rights, official government jobs, you will find it. So you just need the understanding and the conceptual clarity.
Very good, ma'am. Very good, very good. So I think non-conventional domains you have opened wide for our audience today, that they have the career opportunities in certain emerging trends and fields such as medical sociology, sociology of science and technology, criminal justice and correctional measures, sociology of gender, as well as environmental sociology, social demography, industrial sociology, and rural development, if I am correct.
Yes, definitely.
So these are certain non-conventional domains where the aspirants can look for better career options. Fine.
Definitely.
And conventional methods are there, like they can go for the teachers, teaching in university, colleges, and research.
Actually, we are aware about that. Our students are very much aware about that. But the thing is that when we are saying that this is what is the scope of sociology, then please keep in mind one thing: sociology is a very broader term.
Yes.
That number of things are coming. In the first year, we are teaching them the medical, we are teaching them the gender, in the second, criminology. So different terms are there. You have the 4 terms, and in the 4 terms, you will get to read about 10 to 11 to 12 core areas of sociology. So now just see the scope of sociology here.
Yes.
So
it means earlier, what was the perception that after doing MA Sociology, one can go for teaching or research, that's it?
Yes, that's it.
Or maximum to the civil services.
Yes, civil services is the famous option. Yeah.
But now you just broke that, you can say, concepts or the perceptions, and bring about some new dimensions and emerging trends in career for the sociology students.
Definitely, ma'am. So that's why when it is related to the environment, this is the SDG goal also. As we know that SDG goal is related to that. It is the 6th, and the 5th is the gender. In UN, United Nations, we have a kind of number of scope related to sociology, because we are dealing with directly the sustainable development goals also.
Yes,
directly. You will find number of jobs of sociology related.
Maximum SDGs are related with sociology. I have seen those goals.
I have a lot to speak, but I don't have time. I think this is
no, ma'am. Thank you so much. You wonderfully have shared your views about what are the career options, what are the emerging trends, and how the students or any researcher can be benefited from these options by choosing sociology as their career options. Not only sociology, and history also share the similar platforms. So because they are the sister concerns, they are made for each other domains. That is why the topic of today's lecture was intersection between the 2 domains are most apt. So with these words, I thank you, Dr. Supreet and Dr. Tapish Hashmi, who wonderfully discussed with us about the multiple domains as a career options, from conventional, non-conventional, entrepreneurship, teaching, researcher, social demographer, and many more. So I hope our audience will be benefited from this talk today. And the house is open for the question answers. If there are, then please.
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. And definitely they will be benefited, because I also got to know a lot more about history and sociology. Like you were saying that there were certain myths about sociology and history as well, that there are only limited opportunities for anyone who joins in. I mean, these are some niche, subjects. They have the niche, what do you say, the pathways. But as Supreet ma'am and Kavish sir has rightly mention all the opportunities we can have while studying the subjects. And I just want to ask anyone, if you have any question, you can write in the chat box or Q&A box. And I also want to thank Manu ma'am, Supreet sir, Supreet ma'am and Kavish sir for joining in and giving your experience. So ma'am, there's this one question that came in my mind. So Preet ma'am, it's for you. So this I mean, when I was introducing you, I also, I read that you have joined an NGO also, right? So there are multiple rallies, and you told, I think at the end of the session, that this mentioned about LGBT, right? This is the hot topic, and we've had the last month, June month. So I just want to know, like, all the rallies for the social awareness, does that also does that include in sociology, or is it just another part of maybe social service?
When it is a rally, it is actually when we talk about the collectivities with some proper aim. We have the aim. So that's why it is a part of the sociology where we are talking about more than one individual. No? It is actually sociology. Whatever is happening, in rallies, in the booths, in the audience, whatever is happening, it is the subject matter of the sociology. So definitely it is. Definitely it is.
Okay.
You can't separate sociology from history and history from sociology.
Right.
Unseparable.
And ma'am, if somebody wants to do a social service, for example, join an NGO, so what would be that pathway? Would there be any other subdomain to join there, to go there, or just study the sociology and can get the things?
If you want to enter into the NGO, so within NGO there are different streams also. It can be manager, it can be coordinator, it can be social service. It depends upon the position also. But with that, within sociology, because it is always taken for granted that if you are reading this subject, if you are understanding this subject, as I have already told you that Max Weber is saying that it is the interpretative understanding of social action. Means I am understanding you. Empathetic behavior is not the sympathetic. Empathetic at your level. I'm putting my feet in your shoes. So that's why this is the thing that if I'm understanding being a sociology student, through that perspective, I'm eligible to enter into social service.
Right. Thank you, ma'am. Kavish sir, there's it is that's all the things, if you must be reading the news, that there are certain amendments that are happening in our history books and the syllabus. If you know that certain chapters have been omitted out and certain chapters have been added in the school syllabus, and of course I think it can happen in the university as well. So what is your take on that? Like, how does it differ from getting to learn different things? Yeah.
Well, first of all, before answering of your question with regard to history or mind domain, I would like to jump into what you call sociology. Okay. In sociology, the subdomain is the social work, right? So when you are going to start some job in NGOs, you need to, for example, I'm telling you, the Care India, the Child Growth, and like this, many organizations, even Samarth and like this kind of organizations, where you have to show them a degree of or certificate of master in social work. Okay, so that is very important. Sociology there is not important, obviously. Sociology, these are the branches of, but they're social work. So I'm telling you the experience on the basis of. So now coming to my subject, right? The question which you have asked. You say that some changes are being taken place, some changes are going to be done in the recent times. What is my opinion? Being an academician, especially a student of history, we don't have any objective information with regard to it. So subjectivity is all associated with the subject. Subjectivity means interpretation. Always there is a scope of interpretation. The thing is that you not required to be rigid on your argument. until unless it is substantiated by different other sources. History cannot be said that this one is the glass of water, I suppose, if I'm saying. Yes, it is objective information. But you can say that this water is cold. Okay, this water is hot. So subjectivity is aligned to this. Similarly, with regard to many interpretation of the past, definitely what the historians have done in the past, you cannot isolate the historian's personality itself. So if in present times, in the light of, because many new technologies are appearing, if something is new emerging and you are incorporating that with valid proof, with valid evidences, then what is the problem? You need to go into that instead of going into the debate. Yes, that debate must be academic debate. The argument must be, academic argument rather than just jumping into, or when putting venom on someone. You have to be very introspective. You have to be very, collaborative, and you have to be very, you have to broaden your horizon of thinking. So in this way, you can enrich your subject also, enrich your society also, instead of creating what you call the strife on the tussle rather than going forward. So this is.
Yeah, thank you, sir. And so there's one thing I just want to ask is there's a term called archaeology, right? This is again a field. So can we shift from history to archaeology? Is there any path to do that?
See, the history is a subject, okay, and these are the disciplines, right? Archaeology is a discipline, right? So suppose if you are willing to know something, if you're willing to know the history of past and in the remote past, where the written sources were not available. You are knowing or perhaps not knowing, I don't know, but 10,000 years back only the writing tradition has started, the recording tradition. History is the name of the subject where we started the recorded event of the past. So before that, the prehistory. So for the prehistory, you are required to be dependent on archaeology. So many things which have remained unraveled, undeciphered, you have to be dependent on, and you are dependent on, and people are dependent on, the academic institutions are dependent on, what you call the decipherment of all that kind of thing. Newer technologies can be helpful, and archaeology is really emerging. There are many branches of archaeology also. Madam will tell, because Madam is the expert in that. I'm just giving you a very, superficial view of that one, being a student of history. But these are the things, and archaeology is also, a branch, a discipline which can enrich further our approach to society, our understanding to history, and our understanding to present. And on the basis of that, the future can be rebuilt or established, or can be,
Definitely, sir. Manu ma'am, do you want to add anything to, because sir has told that you're specialist on that. Please add something on it.
As I am the student of history, I'll not say I am having any specialization. I'm still learning from history. Yes, archaeology has different branches, and one of the prominent is the marine archaeology. Marine archaeology is very famous branch of archaeology in international and national also. We have a few institutes in the coastal states where marine archaeologists are working just to search out the drowning cities in the ancient India, for example, such as Bet, Dwarka, and other things. So, recently the, you can say the Titanic deck, they are trying to find. So these are the works which an historian, as an archaeologist, they can work to find out the causes, what were the reasons, how it happens, and interpret the things. And just as a precautionary measure, so that should not be done for the future generations to come. Fine. And apart from that, there is metallurgy and epigraphy, there are numismatics. So these are the archaeological evidences to preserve whatever is written in the history. History is what? It is a story, a sages of the legacies which we are taking forward. Fine. So history, whatever is written, the documented history is preserved and authenticated through the archaeological sources. So archaeology is going to prove whatever is written. So we can't separate these two branches. But yes, history has multiple domains. If a person who's doing the masters have multiple opportunities, as we have discussed, but yes, if he wish to work as a numismatic or as an epigraphist or as an archaeologist, then he has to go to choose one stream after doing their masters. Okay, for example, a museologist or a museum curator I have to do. So I'll go for some diploma work or some certification or as an internship. So I'm happy to share that we are also offering internship opportunities in master's program, whether it is history, whether it is geography, whether it is sociology, where it is mandatory for our students to visit the industries and have hands-on experience while doing and working with these areas. Fine. So with these words, I will say that we have many things to offer, many
Right.
new things to offer in the domains of history and sociology.
Indeed, ma'am. And all the students who are coming in and who have passed out also, you can just confirm, I mean, they are at such great heights after studying, not just, I'm not talking about the LPU, I mean, it is a great domain to even learn. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, Suprit ma'am, Kavish sir, Manu ma'am, for joining in, for giving in your point of views. And we shall maybe have a different webinar with Manu ma'am about this archaeology. I mean, the people would be very much interested to know about
Yeah,
your.
the few of the viewers' remarks I'm saying it is talking about the Dr. Munmun Mondal. But yes, our expertise is in museum, but here we are not talking about specifically about museum. Here we are talking about the entire domain of history with relevant to museum and archaeology and the social history, the political history, the economic history, as well as the sociology. So the viewers should also take it into notice that this domain, this webinar is about the entire program of history and sociology, not specifically about the museum history. Fine. So when we'll have a domain or a lecture on museum or archaeology, then definitely we'll invite the expertise of this domain.
Definitely, ma'am. And I think with this, I shall take permission from our experts, I mean, to wrap this webinar. Can I, ma'am, sir? Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, for joining in. And at last, I just want all the participants to know that this will be uploaded on YouTube. So if you have missed any part of this session, so it will be on YouTube and on our site as well, that is lpu.in. So you can explore other webinars also. I mean, they are unlisted and you can register for them free. So with this, I take your leave. And at last, I again thank all our experts for joining in. So I take your leave here and meet you soon in the next webinar. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy.
Thank you.
Thank you.